Hello, welcome to Top Gear. Not really. Welcome to Monday Night Painting. I'm back. Hi Kay. Hi everyone else that's hiding in the chat. Captain Rex. Good evening, my beautiful, beautiful pups. Morning, Archnin. Love that. Love that. Corporal Hicks. Hello, bro. What are you saying, Mr. Stander? Happy anniversary to Mr. Stander. Hi, my beautiful baby. Yeah, welcome to episode, I don't know what it is, season whatever it is. It's not as exciting as The Mandalorian, but I teach you a bit more. That's all I can say. We're going to carry on. King Kev come and collected his army on Sunday. King Kev was very happy with his army. Made me happy as a commission painter. Anyone out there wanting any more commissions, give us a shout. I've got a bit of free time coming up, so I might be able to squeeze some stuff in for you guys. We are carrying on tonight with the beast that is Gazgul Fracker. We put an advert on the UK page with a picture of Gazgul, and they didn't rip us down as well. It was a bit of an experiment, just because we have to keep putting X-Wing pictures, and it wasn't really fair because we're not painting X-Wing at the moment. But you know, it's still all he was extremely happy. It's still all hobby, right? And that's important at the moment when you guys are not getting out playing. It's good for you guys to be doing stuff, right? And I'm certainly kind of finding my love for painting again. I'm really enjoying a Games Workshop product. Who's that? Ulfric, thank you very much. I'm really enjoying this kind of subject matter, which is something I've not touched for years. The model's beautiful. The last show we did, and this is like really, really top quality painting I'm doing on this. I'm not cutting any corners or there's no shortcuts, so to speak, because I want this to be as high a quality. Marshy, hey, how you doing? Thanks for coming back and joining us. We did spend over 2 hours last episode painting a face, and I haven't done any more to the face. I just, because I've got to do the eyeball and a couple of like the wires going into his head, and I wanted to finish that on stream. But I have worked on his body off stream, so because there's no way I spent all day yesterday painting, and then I painted from about 10 o'clock this morning till about 1:30 this afternoon again on him, and you'll see that I haven't done a huge amount because he is such a big model, and I'm going, to number 11 with this, right, out of 10. Obviously it's always going to be an 11. So let me show you quickly. Our donation goes up every week, and at the end of the month, the top 5 donators over the month get entered into the art giveaway. Should we go split? Mm-hmm. I've put him back in his box. You can see how cool he looks in his box. This is Christmas Baby Yoda, special edition, very special edition, because there's only one of these in the world. He's been completely repainted by myself. That's amazing, Paul. I spent over 10 hours painting a chest plate. I know exactly what you're talking about. So this is Christmas Baby Yoda. This is this month's art giveaway. They are very, very exclusive, what I'm giving away every month. Really beautiful pieces of work. So that's a bit of an encouragement for you guys to, I know times are tough, to stick your hands in your pocket and do a little bit of donating. I spend a lot of time on these things. They cost me money, and as well it helps to keep the stream going. What's going on with Facecam? It's gone all weird. Oh no, that's just because I did that. I do that, it goes all weird. But anyway, that's him. That's Christmas Baby Yoda, looking amazing in his box. So if you guys want in, there's plenty of time left in the month to get yourself in that top 5 donations. Okay, there he is. I'm not going to get him out. I might get him out at the end of the stream. We'll see. If anyone wants to see him, I'll get him out at the end of the stream. Right, so let's show you what I've been doing. I have been working on Arch Nin. I love you, bro. I have been working on the body, right? And Al is going to be playing today with our focus points, because we're going to be doing a lot of different stuff. I've been getting it ready to accept the head, so I've been working on the chest plate, like finishing, but I also went through and I started putting some bulk colours. So it was all black, right? So I used my airbrush to some of these grey edge highlights that you can see, right? That's what I've done with my airbrush. That's the only airbrushing work that I've done. And because we've got this big arm and the other big arm. I'm going to work through that process in another stream, right? So you will get to see how I've achieved every single, even in Richie C, you will get to see how I've achieved everything. But I needed to work through a little bit on this because in today's episode, I want to get the jaw done, like his mouth, his jaw thing that he's got, and I want to finish the head and get it in, and maybe we'll do some more work on this to show you some of these techniques. So let's see. We're actually going to go to an even closer up. We're going to go to 30 in a bit. What are you playing with it?
Yeah.
What are you playing? You gone to 30?
I was about to.
Go to 30, because then I can show them really. So so you can really see, right? So like there's a lot of layers of edge work, right? And I'm going to show you how to do it. I've pulled out the wet palette. So all I've done at the moment is this codpiece part, this band, and these bits around here. Oh, Bircha, I love you, my baby. I think that's popped Bircha into the top 5. So as you can see, that's what I've been doing on that. Let's grab you the head, leave it at 30. Because we can't show you this up close unless we're at 30. So this is the head that we're doing. And we are going to finish the eye. So this red lens. And we're going to finish these couple of stems. Right? That is that. Thank you, Captain Rex. Let's go back to a 5 for the time being. Right, so what I've got today as well, I'm being professional. I've got my wet palette. Right, this is really quite important because I do need to mix a lot of, there's going to be a lot of colour mixing that's going on. That's how I'm getting the effects I'm getting. So let's start with the eye, right? Let's have a look at this. Let's put on my old man glasses because I can't see. I was looking online at wet palettes. Which do you recommend? I was thinking about the Army Painter one. Would do. So really, Paul, any of the wet palettes are much of a muchness. I used to use a Dale Rowney one, a much bigger one. What I would personally do is I would get yourself something that you can pick up the wet sheets easily. So if you live near a Hobbycraft or something like that, this is I can't remember what this is. Mr. Dalton sent me this. Oh, this is an everlasting wet palette. This is Model Painter designed by Red Grass Games in Paris. No idea. Mr. Dalton sent me it. I used to use a Dowley roller. That one, big art brand. Railer, the Rolly Downer. Oh, I don't know. That brand. Great big one. But it takes up too much of my desk. So this is the one I've got at the moment. It's a layer of sponge underneath. And you have like this... this paper that goes on top, which is ever so slightly porous, but it allows your paint to stay wet and it allows you to mix between the colours. One pair of glasses at a time. My dad was yeah, I'm at 2.5s. I'm at my strongest glasses because my 1s and my 2s, they're just not cutting the mustard anymore. I think I need to get a pair of flip down super magnifiers because I've been painting my whole... That's it, Dale Rowney. Thank you, Kev. I've been painting my whole life, and part of that is I've destroyed my eyes. Told to me by the actual optician, which was like, "You've ruined your eyes, young man." So I paint very, very, very tiny things. So we're going to start with. I need a little bit of black. I need some red. Let's get some red. Red. That's red. This is a dark red. I need some yellow. So I'm not necessarily like, I want an orange, I want a lighter red. I'm going to use the yellow to do that. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do on this little eye piece, and we're going to keep at this focus level, and then as I get more done, we'll change the focuses. So this actual eyepiece, I'm just going to go back over it with black, just to give me that that hard edge to the red. Alex is furiously typing. Anything important?
No. Well, not to you anyway.
Okay. And then, while I've got a minute, what I'm going to do, I'm going to take a bit of my magic Space Wolf Grey, which I'm going to be using later anyway. Quite a lot of it. Because I want to do these pipes. I want to do one of them with that like standard black and yellow. But the way I'm going to do this is we're going to do that pipe first, which is going to be the middle pipe. And then we're going to catch the two outside pipes. So I'm just going to go over this black completely with this grey, because then I'll paint the yellow, then I'll put the black stripes back in. So it doesn't matter if I come over a little bit here, because I'm going to clean that up with the other two pipes, whatever these are.
Archie then uses the same wet palette that you do, and Marshy the Hellhound says, I tried my first wet palette recently. I need a more shallow container though.
What do you mean a shallow container? Explain what you mean, Marshy.
I'm gonna guess that the tray was too full of water. So instead of being like a wet palette, it was more like a...
So what I will say, what you do is you soak the sponge at the bottom. So I fill it up, I get the sponge wet, then I pour away the excess. You don't want a big pool of water around the edge, otherwise it will oversaturate what you're doing. Okay, so that black's dry. Let's get my tiny brush. So with these lenses, I'm going to start at the bottom with this red, and I'm painting almost all of it apart from a tiny bit just at the top where I'm leaving the black. And that's going to be the theme of how we highlight this. So adding some yellow into my red. We're going to do the same again from the bottom, keeping with that curve. Right, so now because I'm painting at super duper level, that's why I'm mixing. I'm not paint pot jumping. And paint pot jumping for me is much easier being colourblind, because I can always match it. But I don't have to worry with this because I'm only ever painting one of these. Even though as I'm painting it, I really hate the idea of having to give this away, because this is going to be just so beautiful, and I'm a much better painter than I was when I worked at Games Workshop. So what I can produce now is on a different level to what I was producing then.
So Marshy the Hellhound says, I fold a kitchen towel about 4 times with greaseproof paper on top of it, enough water to be moist but not submerged. I use a little packed lunch pot for it, and it's annoying to get the brush over the lip of the container. So it's definitely like a homemade wet palette.
Okay, it really is worth investing in a wet palette. They're not expensive at all. And the sponge inserts, they just hold the water and feed it a lot better.
Mr. Stander actually said something funny.
What did he say?
2 gloves going crazy with the glove budget tonight. Did
you get
right. Delivery from Big Kev?
No, I didn't. These are like both old gloves that I found. I'll show you for why. Something else on this. So, if you can see on these edges, you see where this black's come through? That's because I've been touching it. So what I've been doing with this model is, as I'm working, this area that I've finished, I've hand varnished with Winsor & Newton, not Winsor & Newton, Vallejo matte varnish, because you're gonna take the work off even with gloves, right? And it has got to be held and touched, and so adding the matte varnish reduces anything like that. And I spend so long working, I don't want to be going back and forward. So definitely the natural oils in your Terminator, I love you, dude. T2000's in the house, everyone. Have you seen this month's giveaway, Mark? You're going to love it, mate. You need it for under your Christmas tree. It's Christmas Baby Yoda. I will get back to it in a minute. I will show you in a minute.
Archnin's giving out wet palette advice.
Go on.
It's good to see. Marshy, if you're going homemade, the plastic lid from a takeaway container works well. That used to be my go-to when I did it. I can successfully say I've never used a wet palette in my life. Pringles lid. It's like my normal palette.
You ain't getting many colours on a Pringle lid, are you?
I don't paint with many colours. You've seen it's mostly silver and turquoise.
Oh, great, turquoise, a colour I can't see.
Yep.
So I'm getting a touch of this black. And just on the top of that lens, I'm putting a spot of black. And I'm just softening that in.
Kev said he forgot to bring some gloves round.
It's alright, no worries, dude.
James has turned up. He said he uses a bathroom tile, which is what they told us to use at Games Workshop.
Yeah, I mean, the tile method's great. It just doesn't keep anything wet.
Yeah.
It will dry out. So we got the brightest highlight right at the bottom. And then at the top, now we just want a spot of white. I've still got a little bit of yellow on my brush. So it's not pure white. I'm just going to put a dot in that black. Okay. Oop. Come back here, you little stinker. Okay, I'll show you that properly when we get to the 30 magnification. So let's address this pipe. Straight onto the yellow. And we're going to go back over the whole thing with yellow.
Mr. Stander says, one thing I did take away from my long painting session yesterday is how good the broken toed brushes are.
They are. I've actually, this one I've got in my hand at the moment, used to be my favourite, and it's a little bit dead, unfortunately. So I've been painting with the slightly smaller one, and I've been using one of my Kolinsky Sable brushes that Lee sent me, which is not necessarily as good as the broken toads, but it's holding a better point than that size. Just a little bit of white. Let me just get my hairdryer. So while I've got the yellow, I'm just gonna, with the white, I'm gonna go over the top of the pipe. Bit more white. It's still a bit wet, so it'll blend in. Just over this front curve, where the light's going to catch a little bit more. Okay. Let's try that off. Hold on, mate. Were you speaking to me?
Oh, just Mr. Stander put in the chat that he's got his eye on a set that he's got in stock.
Right, so back to the black. It's just pure black. And we're going to start doing this kind of line business. So you want to get an angle and then steady hand is required. Turning off the heater.
Yep.
Cool. So, as you can see, I'm starting to put these lines across. It will become even more apparent when I clean up the other two pipes next to it. Take your time. Don't overload your brush. You want a really good brush. And you want to keep following the angle of the first one you laid down. As the pipes bend, your line's going to bend as well slightly, so be aware of that. There's going to be a lot of quiet moments in these streams, I'm afraid, because there's a lot of breath holding going on. Here's a interesting little fact for you all. Tomorrow, NannyBot's working, so I'm in charge, which probably means you're getting half a stream. I'll do my best not to kill it, and we'll get him to set up a single camera angle, and I'll just try and work out on I'll work on a bigger piece tomorrow. So I'm using the black now to go in and clean up these two pipes that are beside it and clean up that over paint on the yellow. What are you laughing at?
Someone's being evil.
Go on.
Oh no, it's it's through Facebook. Half a stream is better than no stream, Archington says.
Touch wood, and you know, touch wood, we get all the way through it. And I was going to do some giveaways tomorrow, but Al's not here, so I can't. So I will be doing that next week. I'm away next week, so I won't be streaming Monday and Tuesday, but we will be streaming Friday and Saturday if possible. I know they're weird, and I know Saturday is a weird day to stream because you guys have got your lives and you tend to do other stuff on Saturdays, but I just can't do Monday, Tuesday next week, I'm afraid. Okay, so you can kind of see that black and yellow pipe. Now I am going to highlight the black slightly. So I'm going to take some of my black over here, and I'm going to just put a touch of my grey. It's probably a bit more than I needed. Change to a smaller brush. So again, so it's on the top of the pipe. And what we're doing is painting almost in between that black stripe. So you're trying to leave almost like a black outline with this tiny bit of grey. Now, like, these highlights are really, really small. But if you're going for super, super high quality, these are the highlights you put in that change everything. That's why we need these smaller brushes. And I know you guys don't often see me using such small brushes. That's enough. So each one of those blacks have got a highlight. I'll get you a better picture of that in a minute. Right, let's go back to this brush. Our red. Let's just get a red base coat on this pipe. These are just going to be two set colours. One's going to be red and I think one's going to be blue. Black and yellow means danger, blue means negative. I don't know. I'm sure orcs are not colourblind.
Is that a 5-0 brush?
Who's that?
Mr. Stan?
So, no, this really tiny one is a 3-0 broken toad. This one I'm using at the moment is a 0 pure Kolinsky sable. So a bit of blue on this pipe. Hey, Scaloni.
Nice.
What have you done?
I'm wearing one of my hoodies.
Oh.
Found it. Right.
Do you like it? I'm never going to wear it.
No, but this. Why did you keep tags on?
Oh,
I want some of this red. Let's go over this pipe. Okay, jumping back and forth between the blue and the red as it's drying. You'll notice that all of this paint that I've got on this palette will be wet throughout the whole stream, unless I use it up, so to speak. Let's get a little bit of yellow, a little bit of that red, more yellow, and we're getting close to done on these pipes. Okay. I need a bit more white.
In my honest opinion, Paul, 5-0 is really small, doesn't carry enough paint, dries too quickly.
Yeah, I mean that 3-0 is really as small as you need. I personally think I would use that 3-0 for painting stars. I'll have a touch of the pure yellow on the red because it's so translucent over the red. It won't look like a really strong yellow highlight. just do a touch more on that eye.
Mr. Sanders says that's why he was thinking of getting a 5 out for painting stars.
No, it's overkill, I think. Ooh, don't come off. Little stinker. I even think this is bordering on the edge of madness, but you do need to have some really fine brushes when you're trying to do really fine work. Okay, I think that's about done. Just gonna go back to these teeth with a little bit of white. It's very thin, this white.
X-Wing Tavern says madness / genius. It's a fine line.
Okay, Al, give me a 30, bro. Tell me when we're there. We there?
We should be there.
Okay, so you can see how you've got the lighter colour to the bottom, darker to the top, and the little light spot. Then you can see the pipes. You can see the highlight on the actual stripe of the black. Okay, so that face is done. Right, let's get that stuck on. Give us back a 5, Al. And then we're going to move on to this little beauty, which I've done some work on already, but I'll talk you through what I've done. We're going to go over highlighting those black and white checks. So I'm using super glue.
I really thought that was a Gretchen for some reason.
What? The mouthpiece?
Yeah, I thought you were going to just like Blue Peter it. That's why you were in here until the middle of the...
I was in here till about 1:30 in the morning yesterday. I proper got in my zone. It didn't help that Taken was on, and then Breakout was Stallone and Schwarzenegger. And I know it's not the best films in the world, but I don't watch telly, so just having anything to watch was kind of fun. So on this, it's got these 2 pegs. This is where the head sits, right? And because we're working with a model that we've painted, we don't want to get too much glue. You don't want like glue coming out the side. These do fit really snug, so that's going to be enough just on the edge of those pegs. Come on, in you go. That's it. Okay. It's funny, it gives quite a good focus at 5 on the body, but it doesn't really give good focus on the face. No. But his head's in, which is important, and then I'll show you how his jaw fits, just so you guys can see. And then the jaw pops in underneath, and also has 2 little pegs, right? So he's going to get this big jaw in front of it. This is why this all need to be painted in parts. Can he finish? Guys, go without saying, little stinker again. No, I can't. And it's because this is a child-friendly stream. If you hear what I normally speak like, Marshy, it's definitely not little stinker. So I'll show you inside of this. Inside of this, for some reason, they put 2 lights. I don't know why. He needs uplighting. But I had to paint it.
It's important to look fabulous.
It is important to look fabulous if you're the leader of an Orc War band. So it was like a silver base coat around the edges. I put a wash. I did all the yellows. And then I re-picked out those edges. There's a couple of little metal bits I've picked out, and it's had like a blow over the airbrush. This is standard dark red, just put over it. I think I put a black wash over that. And then on the front, it had a little blow with the airbrush, but then I've just used not Space Wolf Grey.
Wolf grey.
Wolf Grey, just Wolf Grey. Never heard George swear. Thank you, James. I use some Wolf Grey to just block in these cubes, right? So let's get some white again. Let's get it shook up. And let's get my Wolf Grey shook up. And let me spin around this palette. So because I'm using these air paints as well, they are really thin. So the wet palette makes them really, really thin. So it's good to get a good mix, otherwise you end up with really watery paint. Okay, so let's get this brush. And we'll start by sorting out these checks a bit. So it's going to be like a 50-50 mix of the blue, of the Wolf Grey and the white.
Like Skay could have had lit that jaw for sure.
Okay, so as I'm doing this, I'm gonna wanna not like completely colour it in. I want to leave little bits of that bluer Wolf Grey showing through. It'll all add to that overall look. And we're going to put some scratches over this as well. It's okay if we make mistakes now because we can clean this up as we're going. And then I've got to highlight the black edges like you saw on the body armour. Is, those of you that know better than I do because you sat at home watching telly because you're furloughed or whatever, is the Lego Star Wars Christmas special out today? Because if it is, that's what I'm doing after this. After I've rung my girlfriend, of course. What are you laughing at?
You.
Why?
Well, because
I'm in love.
No.
What?
Because I'm pretty sure you're going to walk inside, lay down, turn on the TV for the Lego special, fall into a coma, and we'll see you again.
It's that room, man. It's the room.
Me and Scarlett would just be sitting in the kitchen like, wonder if he's still breathing. James says tomorrow, I believe. Mr. Stander's gone to go check.
Thanks, Paul. I thought it was the 15th it was at. I've got the coolest front room. Like it isn't completely beautiful because I've still got to decorate it and do some stuff. But one wall of my front room is 4 meters or so of wall to ceiling, custom built oak display cabinet full of Star Wars Lego. And I got loads of Star Wars collectibles. It's basically a big homage to Star Wars, my front room. And it's got these great big sofas and it's the warmest room in the house. And every time I go in there with the best of intent to sit down and actually watch something, 10 minutes later I'm in a coma. And that's it, then the room's gone. These two are really upset because they got nowhere to go.
We just sort of mill about in the kitchen.
Just stay out here because if we wake him up he'll punch us.
Oh, that's it. I mean, I've successfully woken you up once.
You nearly got punched, man. You were lucky you were on the other side of the room, I tell you.
What a day.
The last time you woke me up with Scarlett,
yeah.
the thing that woke me up was, no, don't do that, he'll hit us.
Yeah.
That was the line I heard.
James says, no, the 17th.
The 17th? Oh. Okay, well that's Wednesday. Alright, that's Wednesday. I've got no stream Wednesday, so that can be my focus.
Thank you for following. Can't really say the name.
Who followed?
Prussian Bar Steward.
Bar Steward. Thank you, Prussian Bar Steward. Every little follow helps.
Why did you imitate Johnny Cannon when trying to imitate you? Johnny Cannon is like his
He's become part of
go-to-
our psyche.
Yeah, I mean, Nonno's Johnny Cannon as well.
Everyone seems to be Johnny Cannon in my head at the moment.
The 17th is actually tomorrow.
Is it?
Yeah.
I thought it was the 15th today. Oh, 16th today. Do you know what time it's out?
I'm going to assume 7 a.m. like everything else.
Because then I can watch it in the morning when I'm awake enough not to fall asleep.
Oh, I still reckon you're asleep.
Shh, don't tell everyone. Oh, I can't. I've got to take my car in the morning. Wounded, and then I've got to walk back from Burton. Oh well, I'm getting some exercise tomorrow.
Why?
What do you mean?
What do you mean you're getting some exercise tomorrow?
Because I'm walking back from Burton.
Okay.
Because it's kind of easier from where it is just to walk.
So are you going to test out my it's only 20 minutes to walk to Burton?
No, I know it isn't because I've done it.
Do you want a push bike?
Where can we get one of those?
I don't know, just...
If you can steal me one tonight, I'll love a
the
push bike.
Gardens. Yes, upon Trent. I have to take my car in tomorrow afternoon for a safety recall, so I have the afternoon off. I can watch it tomorrow. Wicked. It should be available from 10 a.m, James says. Not your car, the Christmas special.
I'd love if my car was available from 10 a.m. Tomorrow I'm taking my car to actually get the bit that's broken fitted, but there's no guarantee that then it works. Because then it might have to go to another man with a special computer to tell it to be well. Cars. Stupid things. Richie C! Love you, dude. Is Richie C in the top 5 donators? Al. So this is all open information, everyone.
Ask if Alex where he can get a bike from, yeah. So, I can always get a bike.
I did used to have a bike.
I didn't touch it, I swear. Let's have he is at number 5 currently.
Richie C's in the top 5.
I don't know what it is. Oh right, okay. Yeah, I know why he's pushed above the person that's on the same donation price as him.
Who's on the same donation price?
God Squadron podcast.
That's fine. And who's at number 4?
B.
Yeah, B's in the top 5. B loves Baby Yoda.
Apparently at some point in the last 13 years my car could have spontaneously caught fire, even if parked up and turned off. Yeah, we know about that.
Who's that?
That was Mr. Stander.
Mr. Stander, my car did spontaneously catch fire.
While we were in it.
While we were in it. Just the other month, remember? And we now, after Al's extensive internet research, we feel that the spontaneous fire is the cause of the part that's broken at the moment, why it's broken. She's very unhealthy. She does. She goes like that. It's very sad.
Oh, it was James who gifted the sub to Richie C.
Thank you, James.
Fire is bad for cars? ?
Yeah, it's bad when it's not inside the combustion chambers.
Or when you're not Ghost Rider.
When you're not Ghost Rider. Yeah, if it was Ghost Rider, if I was Ghost Rider, it wouldn't be a problem.
Yeah.
Okay, so these highlights that are going on here, it looks like I'm just blocking white on. I'm not. Are we overexposed on this, Al? What do you think? It looks really white, mate. And they can't see any of the blues that are going on. Okay. But that's okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get some of my black. Let's just get some and put it over here. Let me get that back under. still
Hasn't made much of a difference at all.
hasn't made much of a difference. So I've got some black, and on this, on the white areas, now I'm going to chip it up a little bit.
Bad for the people too. Yeah. Fire is bad for people.
Who said that?
Marshy the Hellhound.
Well, she's a hellhound. She clearly loves fire.
Cara always knew when we are skinned carefully. Kia pain. Oh right, okay, yeah. So he's saying that whenever you're skint is when your car's gonna break.
I'm always skint. My car always breaks.
Yeah. Maybe that's it. You need to win the lottery just to defend your car.
And not buy a new one. Just stick with the old one. Just purely use my lottery win for repairs. We're definitely give me what focus we on now?
5.
I don't like it. Give me a better focus. Give me more focus.
Right, okay.
Because they can't see nothing. It's just a mess on the actual monitor. Can't see nothing I'm doing here. Give me some more. And I feel like we're well overexposed. Mate, look how white my gloves are.
Okay, focus.
No, the other way. Hold it there. No, it's not good. Give me like my 25.
This is 25.
And then turn down my brightness. It's that a bit too much, that was.
I only have a 5 and a 6. That's your 2 options.
That's my 2 options. All right, leave it like that. You can see some of the blue and the white right now in those checks. And you can see... Well, what's happening? It's all changing again.
It's just lightening slightly. Just move that up.
Okay, look, I'm going to paint up here, even though this is very uncomfortable. Okay, my brush is dried. Paint on the palette doesn't dry, but it does dry on the tip of your brush.
I actually bought 3 £1 lottery tickets at the weekend and won a tenner. I'm on a roll.
Who's that?
Mr. Stander. Could have knocked my car last Monday. Had to wait a week before the garage could fix it.
Well, you know what to do when you win a tenner, Paul? Is share the wealth, mate. Share that wealth.
B says, can't you rent a push bike tomorrow somewhere near? Or is that too much Dutch thinking?
That's way too much Dutch thinking. Rent a push bike. There's no such thing as push bike rental in England. That's called just theft.
What?
That's called a 5-finger discount, that is.
What do you think it counts if I just like jump over someone's fence, grab the push bike and leave £1?
I promise I'll bring it back.
Yeah.
No, I don't think it does.
Doesn't they live in a village where if it rains they can't leave for fear of flooding. No one is renting bikes. It's better to rent canoes. Yeah, definitely.
Who's that?
James. B says too bad. K says doesn't most of the village start panicking about having angered the sky gods when it starts raining?
Yes, we do. Because we have got one big river one side and a canal the other side. And it does. I love you, Richie C. Securing his spot on the Baby Yoda giveaway. So you can see, right, how tiny this work is at the moment. We're going to probably have to stick with this camera focus, and I'm just going to have to work really close to the camera.
pretty sure it's considered a pilgrimage going to Burton in the village because that's where the beer's made.
There's actually a guy that lives on my street that only drinks beer that is made in Burton. He refuses to drink all other beer.
So Les.
Yeah, Les.
Yeah, cool.
Absolutely, and only drinks Theakston's.
They also live near a decommissioned power station. There's more chance of them growing wings than someone renting bikes. It's not radioactive. My friend lives in...
Of course it's radioactive. You know the hill at the back of my garden?
Yeah.
Right? That is there to stop the radioactive washover hitting the people.
It's not a nuclear power station, though.
It doesn't matter. It's still, when you have that many big electricity conductor things, it like has this horrible effect. That's why they're all flint ash, compacted flint ash, and they're the height of the house, if you notice, Al.
So does that mean everybody who's been ripping them out is just going to mutate?
Well, you can't rip it down because it goes all the way over to the other side.
Not like dug into it. Have you reduced your shielding?
No, I never dug into mine. I added.
No, but like other people.
Well, that's not my problem, is it? I don't care if they grow two heads.
You've seen the rock people, right?
I have seen the rock people up the road.
Yeah.
I'm not quite sure what that's about.
I thought it was some sort of like totem pole thing, but I was wrong. It's just cages full of rocks. Maybe they're getting ready for like a siege or something.
So you can see, right, how pretty that's starting to look with these little bits of detail.
Marshy the Hellhound says my friend lives in Barrow and they maintain a canoe for annual vengeful rain gods.
We have had it so bad in the past few years here with flooding, where we have this, there's basically two ways in and out of my village, and one of them is across this road that goes to Repton. That is part of a floodplain, but it completely went underwater at one point for about 10 days. So there was only one way out of the village, and yeah, it was just ridiculous. It was like, what the hell's going on here?
I mean, the co-op has flooded before.
Yeah, the co-op has flooded more than once, Alex. I've seen it worse than that, you know. I've seen it where, you know, the post office and where the Indian restaurant is.
Oh, yeah.
Because that used to be the co-op. I've seen all that completely underwater.
Is that why it's called the Water's Edge? Mr. Slander just finished watching The Mandalorian. James says, why would you tell him that, George? He's going to want to go there more. Alex off on his little Fallout adventure.
I have been successful in keeping Alex of Zander out of the power station for a year, because all he would talk about for the first 6 months was, I'm going to break into the power station. I just want to run around it and pretend I'm in a computer game.
Just want to have a look.
No, there's nothing to look at apart from getting in trouble. So a little bit of my Winsor and Newton ink.
Have you seen the internet's latest problem with the Mandalorian? Apparently the breastplates on Bo-Katan and Kosher Reeves.
What, were too breasty?
Yeah, were too breasty. And the whining about Baby Yoda indulging in genocide. Yeah, we've covered the... Well, covered...
we covered the genocide.
The genocide. We haven't covered Mandalorian armour is too...
What about the fact Baby Yoda was eating live squid and so was the Mandalorian girl? Is that okay? Are we now not allowed to eat?
What about all the squid people eating squid? Is that not some sort of weird cannibalism they're promoting? So not a good idea to start a bike renting business over there. You just ruined my day.
I told you, B, the only business that needs to be started over here is naked cleaning, which I am looking into.
I still think a greasy spoon calf.
In Holland?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what I'm going to do when I move out there, man. I'm going to sell bacon cream cheese bagels to Holland.
Perfect.
And they're going to just wet their pants and be like, I don't need to eat a pancake ever again. Have a little smoke, go and have a bacon cream cheese bagel.
Yeah, they going to be alright saying bagel?
Bagel.
It's okay, squids don't have a backbone, only animals with a spine have to be dead before being eaten. So you could just keep popping jellyfish, it's all good. Not in the middle of England, English people are too tight to borrow a bike.
Too lazy to ride one. It's just death wish riding a bike in this country. You've either got to be one of those I want to be Bradley Wiggin plunkers that are like literally trying to kill themselves.
I honestly think that they think they're above death.
I do, I agree.
You know, they put on that lycra and it's like, you know, the bomb disposal suits. They reckon they'll just be alright.
So I added some dirty browns, as you can see. Just very gently with this Winsor & Newton ink, which I really, really like. Okay, now let's do the opposite, which is the blue greys on the black, and then we'll do the red teeth. Okay, so
bagels last week turned out very well, although a bit time consuming.
I don't actually make the bagels, that's just madness. So I've got some somber grey, and I've still got some wolf grey there.
Bike sales have gone bananas during this pandemic, particularly during the first lockdown, but not bike rentals though. Most of the crazy bikers are mammals.
So pure somber grey first.
Richie C says, I had to do a cycle awareness course as part of my CPC training for work.
What, like how not to crush a cyclist?
No, I think, yeah, part of the course involved riding a bike around Leicester. Stuff that, never doing it again. Maybe it's one of those, this is what cyclists see when you're a juggernaut trying to run them over.
Then they shouldn't be undertaking the guy, should they, or being idiots? So I am following a lot of the edges of this armour plate, but what we're also doing is we're using these greys to add damage or interest. So now on most like kind of models I would be much quicker about stuff like this, and I'd be doing a quicker jump in colour change, but I'm going to mix 2 or 3 times to go from this sombre grey to wolf grey, and I'm not sure I'm going to go all the way to pure wolf. Be very close, but not exactly.
Mammal means middle-aged man in lycra. James is asking Richie if he survived with his dodgy eye. That was probably before his eyesight got
It's probably
smashed.
why his eyesight's was like that.
Rich says I got it bang on. He is so. You know how it feels to be a cyclist when a juggernaut's chasing you. Well, shit, the Hellhound says bicycle supremacist.
Okay, so that's just the sombre. Now we start to mix the wolf in. going back over.
In Holland, the average family has 4 bikes. Suddenly, I'm moving my bike lifting business to Holland. Question, please. Green or yellow delicate surface frog tape for masking?
Yellow if possible. Yellow's the most low tack and the one that's least likely to do damage. You can also... Who's asking that question?
That is Captain Rex.
Right. Also, Captain, you can buy this stuff. So this is actual model masking tape. Tamiya is one of the companies that do it. Lots of companies that do it. It is yellow. This is flexible masking tape that bends. Right, so you can actually go... This is part of how I did Baby Yoda's candy cane, was this stuff. It's all very quite expensive, but you don't use very much of it, and it lasts you forever once you brought it. But if you want in big areas and you're just going to use frog tape itself, yellow is the least likely to do any damage to your models.
Mr. Stander only has 2 bikes in his household, but we currently have 5 Christmas trees up. Okay. Why? Why 5?
They're like an English Disney family.
Oh, do they just like have one in every room?
Yeah.
Yeah, right, okay. It's a load of rubbish. We have to sit for hours in a classroom being told not to run cyclists over, but cyclists don't have to attend a class on not sitting in a HGV blind spot. Yeah, I mean, there's lots of issues with things like that.
I am not a hater of cyclists per se, but I do have a lot of contact with very ignorant cyclists where we live that have got a death wish.
On Sunday it becomes the Tour de France on a 60-mile-an-hour road.
60 mile an hour, 4 wide. They're so wide out that you can't actually overtake them, even if you're completely in the opposite carriageway. And then you get abuse when you do overtake them. And if they read their highway code, they're not allowed to do that on fast or dangerous roads. And I'm pretty much saying a 60-mile-an-hour road constitutes a fast road.
I mean, can they pedal 60 miles an hour?
No.
Then it's a fast road.
I do believe fast or dangerous road is anything above your standard 30-mile-an-hour limit.
Surely, at a point, cycling becomes a natural selection. The only room without a tree in it is my bedroom, kitchen and bathroom. B says, even better, love Christmas trees.
Yeah, B's a Christmas nut. Cool, babe, because we're not doing anything this year, so we're getting our Christmas fix when we come to you.
Okay, looks like he just chucked out something super intelligent there.
What did he chuck out?
I don't know. The problem is that Cuckfield infrastructure in the UK is terrible, and for some reason drivers are dead set against the idea of improving it and getting cyclists off the roads.
Oh, I'm not. I absolutely. Right. So,
cycling infrastructure.
Pretty much everyone on this stream knows my girlfriend's Dutch, and their infrastructure for the cyclist is incredible. If we had infrastructure like that, it is absolutely the way forward. I mean, look, we're not blessed with a country made up of flat roads everywhere. So cycling does take a bit more effort than it does in Holland. But it's so much safer out there to ride a push bike. We just don't have that here. It's very, very dangerous in general. I have to take my top off because I'm on fire. Whew. Very hot boy. I get hot. Sit in man cave. Whew, very hot. I'm middle age. I'm making hot flash.
Archie says that I remember we had to do cycling proficiency tests when we were in school. They should still have to do that to cycle on the road.
I believe my kids did do that.
I did a cycling proficiency.
Actually.
I smashed it.
In
fact, I was riding my bike with no hands most of it.
That's not proficient, Alex.
No, that's proficiency, not safety.
Yeah, no, that's idiocy.
Roger said, yeah, I had to do. Richie C had to do one of those, but they pinned it off years ago.
No, my kids did them, Rich. Scarlett,
What?
did you do a cycling thing?
In primary?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, even Scarlett did it, because I can definitely remember Simeon and Mia doing it.
But my sister is the only person I think I've ever known to fail cycling proficiency.
Yeah, but she's just not proficient at life.
She's not proficient at anything.
That's what I mean,
Yeah.
so...
I have a 100% foolproof plan on making cycling deaths and incidents a thing in the past. There would never be an injury again if only you made bikes illegal.
Who did that?
James. Do the Dutch also have numpty pedestrians that walk out into the road without looking? Saw so many.
No, you see, so in Holland, everything is segregated. So pedestrians have pedestrian places to walk. The bikes have their bike lanes, the cars have their car lanes, the trams have their tram lanes. So your average Dutch road goes pavement for people, bike lane, road for car, tram, road for car, bike lane, pedestrian. And everyone has to walk a certain way. And they've all got their own set traffic lights. Honestly, it's very, very, very well thought out.
Is it like dodgeball? You know, if you can dodge traffic.
The only thing is if you're from England and you're used to looking the other way, then it becomes quite interesting.
Marshy Halran says, right, I've got to head off. Love watching the stream, amazing stuff. I try and catch it again when I can.
One love, Marshy. Should be back tomorrow. And you can always watch it on playback. Who asked about the Dutch bike thing?
That was Mr. Stander.
You never been to Holland, Paul?
There are some hilariously bad cycle lanes in Edinburgh. 10 yards of lane, then a bus stop, then another 10 yards of lane, then loading zones and parking, filling it all. Then it will just end just before a junction.
No, like their whole infrastructure is built around bicycles. Like they absolutely have right of the way, and if you hit a cyclist, you're in trouble. That's all there is to it. You're in big trouble, regardless of what they were doing. There's not many roads I've driven down where bicycles are anywhere near cars. There's been a couple of bits, but they're for like a few feet, and they've got massively wide roads at that point. So you can start to see what's happening, right, with this delicate brushwork on this piece. How we're going from a very plain, bland, tiny bit of plastic and taking it to a completely different level.
Last time I went to Holland, I was 20 and pretty much spent the entire weekend drunk. Don't even recall getting off the ferry on the outward journey.
Who was that?
Mr. Stander.
Well, you went to Holland and got drunk.
Afternoon, folks. What are you painting today?
Who's that?
That is Death Revived.
Death Revived! I'm painting Gazgul Fracker, Death Revived. Painting him. Oh, look how good he looks in 30.
That's alright. I corrected your mistake.
Oh, very evil.
In fairness, very little of Britain's road infrastructure is designed for cars. We designed for horse and carts in most cities.
Who's that?
That's
Kay.
Kay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's always the intelligent one out of the group.
Even though it's really organised in Holland, there are always stupid people who don't pay attention.
Who's that be?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know there is, baby. But it's so different here.
And from Death Revive, we've got a hot damn.
Hot damn! You know who Death Revived is, don't you?
Possibly.
It's Mark from X-Wing Junkies.
Oh,
From Canada. It's my little Canada
yeah,
gorgeousness. There is nothing like a Mark hug.
Yeah.
Honest.
We spent
I love
most of that week in the
with
Canadian corner.
I love the Canadians. They're so cool. They're like Americans toned back with an actual sense of humour.
With a whole bunch of...
They don't all try and shoot you. They just give you alcohol.
Imagine trying to drive a 40-foot truck around that lot. Yeah. That's rich.
What, in Holland?
His gripe. No.
In England.
The city. Yeah, because I know Rich has made a couple trips to London recently. He sent me a message the other day saying, what even is a canning town? And I was just like a scrapyard. And funnily enough, he was dropping scrap metal to a scrapyard. I spent nearly 10 years commuting to London on a motorbike and had almost all my close shaves with idiot pedestrians not paying attention.
Who's that?
That's Mr. Stander.
Paul on a motorbike.
Mark lives in an even more isolated place than we do.
Yeah, but I bet you it's wicked, man.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking about.
I'd love to go. I've got family in Canada, and I've always wanted to go out there to see them.
You got family in Canada?
Yeah, well, when after the war, my grandfather and his brothers, he came to England, and they all went to Canada because of the lumberjacking.
Oh, nice.
So they went and carried on being lumberjacks in Canada, and my grandfather came over here and became a chef, weirdly. Because we're Italian, it's just in our blood.
Scarlett, you hear that? You got family in Canada. There's all snow and fir trees here. We're going Canada.
Are we?
Yeah.
Sick.
Okay. I'd say that's pretty much done with the blue whites.
Death Revive says, can confirm.
Can confirm what?
That he lives in a more isolated place than us that's just snow and fir trees.
Elk burgers and stuff.
Oh, elk burgers.
Elk burgers.
Sounds lovely.
Moose tart is not an insult to any of the ladies watching in the stream.
Sounds less lovely than elk burger. We still got a cupboard full of Canadian whiskey, don't we?
We still do have a cupboard full of whiskey and rye. So just picking out these rivets with a spot of silver. I'd already gone over with a dot of black on anything where the white had gone over. In fact, I'd gone over all of them.
We grew up more isolated at least. Yeah. Maple sausages. Oh, maple bacon, man. Yeah.
I'm not as big on the sweet bacon thing as you are. Just give me smoked bacon.
But like, don't you get like Canadian maple smoked ham as well? That's wicked.
So a little bit of silver around that bullet hole. And same again on these two studs, or two, I don't know, bolts on the side.
Definitely says, now I want bacon. Mr. Stander says, maple syrup on my porridge is heaven. Maple bacon and
porridge.
I'm a fan of porridge. I can't agree with you there. Like,
I'm
really
not
good.
a fan of anything. Because it's gross. It's just like snot sliding down your throat.
Whoa, look at this. Look, whoa, that must have just happened. FFG have just announced that they're splitting off their Star Wars games from the main studio and passing them to Atomic Mass, the company that does Marvel Crisis Protocol. So there's some big X-Wing, Armada and Legion news. Atomic Mass are taking over the games from FFG. Okay.
Is that good? Is that bad?
I mean, I have no idea. See, the person that we'd normally go to ask if this was a good idea is not here currently.
Lee.
Yeah. Richie C says we're doomed. Atomic Mass does amazing sculpts at least.
Yeah, but does it do good, tournament play?
Can it support a game like this?
Yeah.
I think it's good. With the experience for big games in Atomic Mass should help. Let me do a quick Google about Atomic Mass.
So as I'm doing these silver highlights as well, these are getting mixed with black and then up to this pure like bright silver. Everything has got multiple highlight levels on this. For competition standard, that's what you want to do. So on my metals, on my silvers, I painted on a base coat of Iron Warriors, which is kind of like a darker silver, and then I washed it with a black and blue ink mix. Not just black, I wanted some blue showing through, and it's not so obvious on the smaller parts, but it is on the bigger metal areas on Gazgul himself, like on his claws and his toes and that sort of stuff. You get that bluey steel hue. Once again, because we're going to level 11 on this. Okay.
I have a feeling that Atomic Mass Games is just another section of Asmodee. Snap.
What I will say, after building a CIS army and painting it, they certainly have no idea how to present an instruction for building a model. So they do need some help in that department when it comes to actual multi-part plastic.
Death Revive says, I don't want to see them burdened with the American X-Wing community though. Leah's just posted up on Facebook. Will Atomic Mass work out correctly how much stock is to ship to the UK every wave and time? Don't know. I mean, I was slightly hoping that they were a British company. It looks like they're taking some of the design team, but not all of them. Atomic Mass have been really on the ball with Crisis Protocol, so it'll be interesting to see how they handle this kind of expansion. They don't have an OP set up and specifically do not do competitive with their launch title, so this isn't necessarily good. Atomic Mass is made up of mostly ex-privateer press employees who have a lot of experience with events, tournaments and gameplay. It's basically going to be the same people in charge of making the Star Wars games, so there's not really much of a big change. I'm definitely looking forward to the calm, rational and in no way wildly speculative and ill-informed debate on the X-Wing page. It is Alex, apparently. Oh, what? Thorn. Or Watkins. Atomic is FFG, yeah. I mean, I thought it was as well, because I just went on the website and all of the contacts, basically, the contact us form were the same.
Okay. Just the reds to do. Oh, I missed those. Missed these two little buggers. There you go. Marshy's gone, but I just said little bugger. Two Two more little dots, or little bolts, whatever you want to call them.
Same thing, yeah. I didn't see your reply to Tyson James yet. Yeah, it just seems like there's nothing to be like going over the top about, because it's all the same company. It's probably just moving it around for tax purposes.
Yeah, that sounds about right. When has it ever been like a big company to avoid paying tax? They don't do that, do they? Okay, so I've got my dark red. Oh, why am I using that brush? I've got my dark red. Let's get some more. I've got my light red. Let's get some there. Okay, so this was the base colour. Let's have a bit of a mix between the two. Way more of the dark than the light at the moment. So this first highlight, I'm just going to bring it down, wet my brush off and soften it. I don't want super like contrasting cartooniness on this bit right now. I will right at the end, but as we work through these reds, I want a subtler drop in colour.
If FFG/Asmodee is passing it over to another company/division, then maybe there'll be more free time to concentrate on getting Memoir 44 expansions that were promised in March, and which pre-orders were taken but have yet to materialise. I mean, that's just something with any large gaming company. You got to think about just how many games a company like Asmodee.
You've also got to think about we have been in the middle of a global pandemic.
Yeah.
So everything's been delayed at the moment. Manufacturing on any levels. And, you know, actual bodies at places.
Yeah, he says it's very interesting to see how many X-Wing players are now experts in corporate restructuring and finance, so especially the ones I know for a fact are so stupid they can't walk and chew gum at the same time.
I don't get involved with all of that stuff anymore.
No.
Life's too short to get involved with those arguments, those discussions. There's always someone that wants to turn it into a fight. So you can start to see that red fade, and then we're just going to keep adding this blood red. I'm going to do the same again, but less this time. You can see how strong that red is. So we're feathering it out. We're working on those edges.
I shouldn't complain. My Lord of the Rings playmat I ordered in January turned up on Thursday.
Well, how long were you waiting for Super Fantasy Brawl, Alex?
Like
3 years?
Yeah, nearly. It was enjoyable enough.
It was kind of a nice surprise.
Yeah.
You know, because like I think maybe you'd given up on it.
Well, yeah. At one point, it was looking quite bleak. Like when we went up to visit Lee, and he was just like, "It's not looking good." And I was like, "What do you mean it's not looking good?" Because that was my first Kickstarter. I was like, "How can it not look good? What does this mean?" But turned up James is still waiting for AVP. No, I mean that's years now. It seems like the optimal time to make big changes though, because like if there's a big restructuring of organised play, will everybody actually remember what it used to be like for comparison when it starts up again? True. The map wasn't a Kickstarter. I've had 2-year waits for Kickstarter stuff. That is expected.
See, I like when you guys talk, because then Alex can talk and it lets me concentrate, because you know I'm going to be very quiet in these streams because of this stuff, because I'm going to 11 with everything. And for people like Captain Rex out there, I hope this is a good tutorial on how delicate you can be with a brush, that you don't need an airbrush to be like super subtle.
Arjun is heading for lunch.
Enjoy, brother.
He says have a good rest of the stream. Catch us tomorrow. One love.
One love, bro.
Your tutorials are always useful. That's Captain Rex.
Thank you, Captain. Because I know Captain's getting an airbrush this Christmas as his / retirement Christmas present. But I know that not all of you have airbrushes, and sometimes I do stuff that you maybe think you can't emulate without the airbrush, but you can. Well, pretty much you can. Okay, let's get some. I don't know if I want to go classical yellow on this, or whether I want to go slightly different colour with the red.
Shifting the game often coincides with big OP changes. Wizards of the Coast used to do the same on occasion with Magic the Gathering, when the OP team responsible for it would change every now and then. When a captain retires, do you lose the title, or do you remain a captain forever?
No, you're a captain forever, man. The guy was at the Battle of Endor, of course he's going to be a captain forever.
Captain Rex says, got the airbrush, had first practice at the weekend.
How did it go? Let us all know. We'd love to see some pictures.
Mr. Sanders says, but whatever changes are coming through, nothing I can do except just roll with it. And Captain Rex says, always a captain, and then wet. Always a captain until you die.
Who said that, Richie C?
No, Mr. Stand Up.
Captain Rex can't die because he's loved.
The difference between just enough paint and air and too much is very small.
Yes.
Yeah.
You'll get. My recommendation to you would be to get some like hard cardboard and practice on that. Play about with your pressures as well. Remember. So anywhere from £15 upwards. Once you start getting above 20, you're going to get a lot of pressure. Yeah, it is a very fine balancing act between the push and the pull because it's a dual action trigger. But you will get used to it. Practice on cardboard, don't practice on your models. But you will get there, Captain. You've all heard me say it, talent comes easily, but skill only comes through hours and hours and hours of beating on your craft, which means practice, practice, practice. It's like any tool. It's about learning it, feeling it.
Which one did you go for in the end, Captain?
Yeah, which brush did you buy in the end? That's a very good question.
What and Neo, I reckon.
Yeah, that's what I reckon.
I decided to start with the Neo Iowata.
Yeah. It's the best entry level brush for the money. I don't think you're really going to get anything better than that for that money. How are you, Scalushingtons?
Good.
What have you been doing?
I'm on my phone.
You should be careful, you'll break it if you keep standing on your phone.
Bye bye.
Bye bye, darling, I love you.
Love you too.
Okay, now I'm weirdly going to add some bone white. Just the tips.
I went to the restaurant and picked up a set of 8 Vallejo inks. Used them for the first time yesterday. Not too successfully, as the red and blue inks were too close to the red and blue I was washing. More practice required there, I think.
Who's this, Mr. Stander?
Yep.
If you notice, Paul, don't use a huge amount of ink. But, yeah, practice and experimentation.
I also haven't really seen you use an ink matching the colour. So if you're painting red, you wouldn't. I don't see you use a red ink. You just use like brown.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
And then maybe just a touch at the bottom. Very tiny amounts of paint we're using. We can use this as well as a little chip colour. Okay, I think that's done. I'm happy. Well, there is one thing I'm not happy with. Just got a bit of my brown ink. Let's get a bit more. It's almost gone. So it just, this became too silver. I want it to be a little bit more oily, dirty brown.
It's only a practice piece I'm messing about with. Some things worked, some didn't. Still need to finish it off. It's Mr. Stander. In case there's artist never finished, only abandoned.
Oh, alright, Mr. Plato. Okay. So that is where I'm going to abandon it at this point. Once again, that's how small that is. It's not as big as my thumbnail. So you can see kind of like what happens with these models when you put the next level. It's hardly art. What? Oh, your stuff. It's really insulting, that is, to me.
Alex will be able to testify. I just sent a picture to him. What day?
Where are we time? Wow, 2040.
My son looked at the stream and went, wow, he has enormous hands.
I do have quite big hands, actually. I don't have small hands, but Ulfric, thank you very much. Right, so yeah, that is level 11 painting. Okay, let's get that glued in.
That is a crazy crazy much.
I wish Dalton was in the chat. I need to ask him a couple of questions.
What do you need to ask him?
I want to ask him if he's got a couple of things in stock.
I mean, I can ask him.
Well, tell him to come on the chat.
I think he's investigating things currently.
Yeah, but he can just wait and have his arguments in a minute. Right, so let's get this bad boy stuck in. Let's take these off for a second. No, let's not. Damn, so blind without them. Okay, let's just remind myself how this fits. So that's there, that's there. Where do I want to actually put glue? Right, so there is these two lugs. Let's get it in. There's these two lugs where it fits part of the model. I don't want to put glue here. I'm going to put glue just here because the bottom of that jaw plate will hit that. I don't want bloom from the super glue.
It's very, very bright.
What is?
The model, the pool bed.
I think that's enough.
It looks like you know, good old second edition painting.
Okay. Yeah, it was worth painting those lights in there. I didn't think you'd see them, but you do really, really see them. I almost feel like I should have done a glow effect now on his chin, but too late.
Is it?
What?
What?
Dalton! Hello, darling. I've got a couple of questions for you, Dalton. Do you have any good super glue in stock? Because I need some. What else did I need?
While you're asking your questions, I'll put Paul's photo on.
I need some green stuff. What else was I after? I might need a little basing bundle as well, but I'll talk to you about that. Maybe I could ask you about that tomorrow. But yeah, I definitely need super glue, and I'd prefer to buy it from you than I would from anyone else because I want to get these smokestacks done. So that's where we're at the moment with this bad boy. You can have a good look now at level 30, so you can see like the multi-layers of thank you, my darling. You can see the multiple layers of highlight with the blue and the grey. No, I don't like gel. I want the thinner stuff. I like the army painter stuff. Or okay, all right, bro. I'll have a look on the internet then, brother. I just prefer to speak to you before I go and spend money anywhere else. So you can see what we've done and what we haven't. This is finished. These two chest parts and just a bit round his actual head and the jaw. So we've gone from this to these. Okay, we're getting there. And he's still pretty small. He is a big boy though, I'm not going to lie. For a GW model, this is a big model.
I mean, it's dreadnought sized, and it's just.
It is dreadnought sized. It is dreadnought sized. So I went with a red and a yellow on this bit of cloth because they do it like a brown and it's just boring. I've pulled most of the metalwork out in either a bronze, so warp block bronze, or that kind of Iron Warriors. I think I lightened it a little bit and then I washed it with blue and black. You can see the blue. You can see the blue in that wash. And then this was just washed with black, the warp block bronze. And what I will do is I'll highlight it all up and then it'll get a glaze at the end with my peat brown ink, which just does something fantastic to it. The trousers were done in kind of a dark brown and worked up, and standard wolf grey stitching. Let's let you get in there. Right, this has also given me the opportunity to paint in these gaps where when you start sticking the arms on, you're never going to get in there. Where are we? 15 minutes. don't know if I actually want to do any more tonight on this, because starting another area, I don't think I've really got time to get into it. I think I might just show you Baby Yoda. We'll have a little chat for 5 minutes and then we'll call it a night tonight. We actually managed to get some stuff done. It'll also look better once we get the... in fact, shall I do a little varnish? No, I'll do a little varnish later. I'm going to let that glue go super dry before I go sticking varnish on it. I am going to varnish, and what I'm going to, not like tonight, but I'll show you what I use. I use, this is Vallejo matte varnish, 100% acrylic resin. Put that in one of my little pots. I put a little bit of clean water, and I get a very clean brush or clean water. Did you laugh at me saying water?
No, I laughed at someone else.
Okay. I was about to say, because that's how you say it.
Yeah, I know.
And then I'm going to brush paint the jaw, the face, to try and protect it from my handhold. Because you can see how long things are taking. So we've done kind of 4 hours to do a face and a jaw plate. And there's loads of hours in this.
Sounds like right on schedule for you.
Yeah, it sounds like only like one of those 50-hour pieces for one man. This is why I got out of 40k, man. Because I'm not 21 anymore and I can't paint for 46 hours a day.
I mean, he's yesterday.
I did try yesterday. I've really enjoying this model.
That's good.
Like, I've been enjoying my painting again a lot more.
Is it making you want to paint more?
Yeah, absolutely.
Wicked.
So like I enjoyed the Super Fantasy Brawl stuff.
Yep.
This is like a blast from the past.
Yep.
And it's what it should have always looked like.
Yep.
They never looked like this years ago.
Maybe I'll get you a Ragnar for Christmas.
No, don't get me a Ragnar. Get me Lego. I'll buy my own Ragnar. I was actually looking on the website at how much. Wouldn't be so bad with a Custodes army where you can paint 6 guys and be done, but an Orc Horde would be a bit much. Yeah.
Yeah, but like you could probably.
Can you get the front off that cabinet?
Yeah. What do you want, Killer Cam?
No, get the front off the cabinet first. There's one painted orc in there, like the one of the flash kits.
Oh yeah.
I would like him, and then I'd like the guy with like the sniper rifle.
Right.
Just to show them my
The one that's all
conversion.
grey.
Yeah, they would just all be in plastic still. So I still have an orc army that I fully built from years ago. I'll just show you for those of you that have not seen it.
I expected that to weigh more than it did.
Okay, so these are like mine. This is from a long time ago.
Oh yeah. Oh damn! Look at the pirate.
Okay, so this is like a huge conversion. Fully sculpted coats, hats, hat on the Gretchen, the weapons handmade from like 6 million pieces, bass guitar strings, all round his boots, everything, all the arms resculpted, the hands resculpted. Right, so these are like, you can see the base work as well. There's Brescian marble, 2 types of marble. And this was a long time ago. This was when, as far as I'm concerned, I can paint a lot better than this now. And then I'll show you one of the conversion. In fact, give me...
The big guy.
Yeah, the big guy as well. So I'll show you some of my conversion work. So this is another flash kit. He's a sniper. So this allows you to see how much actual light. So that was a base. So you can see how much time I'd put into just the base. And then you can see anything that's green, white, or not that standard grey plastic I've made from scratch. And then I've brought all those pieces together as well. I mean, you can see how many pieces are in the gun, right? You can see. Right, so this is the sort of work.
You're
I'll show you an even better one than this. Let's just pop him back on here. But how cool's that look?
That's good.
I used to design my squads to fit as a display piece. I'm sure you guys have seen this. This is, what was his name?
Badrick.
Badrak. This was my Badrak. So it was using the orc,
Oh, the assault on Black Reach.
the assault on Black Reach orc. And yeah, so this is handmade. This is flatline sculpting using plasticard. So when you want to make weapons, this is where you start, and then you can shave it, and it's very hard to pick out that because of the overexposure. Let's get a bit closer even. And then you can see...
Put something dark behind it.
It's okay. It's okay. It's just because we're actually on 30 and I need to be really close. So there you can see, look, that's green stuff sculpting. See the feathers and the teeth. This is how most of the miniatures used to start at Games Workshop. Was traditional green work. You can see even like the popped veins in his biceps, the spots on his like forearm, and then working round. So just to give you an idea. So this was like, and you can see the base as well, right? So this was how much time I put into just building a piece. So then to go and try and paint it, there's so many potential hours in this that I've got it all built. I haven't had the courage to go and paint it all. Because you can't just paint this quickly, can you? I mean, how can you just paint that quickly? You've got to go mad with it. Look with his little, I love this guy, with his little like pirate, what are they called, epaulets? I think they're called epaulets. Pauldrons or epaulets? Whatever these are. Someone, these things on the shoulders. Yeah, he's got one on there as well, hasn't he?
I'd love to see you do a conversion like that on the stream. Oh, how long is the stream going to be?
The problem with working on green... Let's go. No, let's stay like that. The problem with working with green stuff on stream is that most of the time the curing times between putting it on epaulets, I'm right. Most of the time the curing time between putting it on and actually having it workable is longer than the stream. So I'd put a piece of green on and I would be working most of that for about 6 hours, and you just haven't got time to do that on stream. So let's just get this little guy out just to show you, those of you that donated tonight, lovely Mr. Terminator. I hope you're still on stream. This is our beautiful, beautiful little baby Yoda giveaway.
Should I drop the focus?
Drop the focus a little bit. Yeah, we are too close for that. Dropped?
Nope. Need to go into like 38 different programs.
So there he is. He's gorgeous. He's beautiful. He's all airbrushed and hand painted. What we at? Are we done?
Yeah, we're at 5.
There we go. That's better. So yeah, that is this month's art giveaway at the end of the month.
The first person to throw love on it is B.
Oh, I love you, B. And who are our current top 5, Al?
Our current top 5. Our current top 5 are Ulfric, Archnin, Wookie, Outrider, B, and Richie C.
That's our current top 5. That's a great idea, Kay. That is a great idea. In fact, there are Patreon videos of me sculpting. I don't know if you remember when I was doing my dial covers, I did a furry Wookiee dial cover.
Yeah.
There's a Patreon video of how green stuff works and me doing stuff like that. But yeah, I will at one day, we will get to do some video editing.
Once we get the SLR, I'm sure.
We're going to be getting an SLR in soon. And we're going to change everything on how it goes. Let's go full screen just for a minute, bro.
Yeah.
Let's get rid of that. Let's lift that up. That might make it a bit better.
Yep.
Right, so that's it for today's show. We're going to be back tomorrow, but I am not going to have that lovely boy, right? Because he's the one that makes it all works. And he's the one that does the stuff with the camera. So like I'm a little bit dubious now because of this model. I might get him to set me up a closer than I usually use. But it's not going to allow me to go in and out the way Alex is. And if we do have any bin fires, I'm not going to be able to put them out, unfortunately. But, touch wood, It hasn't been too bad in the past few weeks, has it?
No,
Twitch
no,
seems to have
exactly.
settled down. It was definitely a big update on Twitch, and I think since they did that, it took a little while and everything kind of clashed. But so far, it's not been too bad. So I will be back tomorrow on my own. I might have a little Scarlatina in the background, hopefully not switching it all off, just giving me a bit of moral support. I'm going to carry on with Gazgul tomorrow. I'll just do my little bit of housekeeping. If you're new to the stream and you haven't pushed the notifications buttons, please do. If you can afford to sub the channel, that really helps. And if you can check out Rest the Mace Painting, our Patreon, chuck a couple of quid at that. That helps to keep things going as well. So remember, we've got our end of the month art giveaway. I will be doing some giveaways to everyone next week. I was going to do it tomorrow, unfortunately, but Alex is not here, so I can't do that on my own. But I will next week. And next week, we're looking like we're going Friday, Saturday, because I can't do Monday, Tuesday next week. So, excellent. Thank you, Alex. Catch you tomorrow. Yes, everyone out there, stay safe. Be good to each other. One love. Peace.